All right, another video running. It says that for the memory buffer in my phone, I have 13 minutes and 14 seconds to say it. So I'd like to go through some of the various techniques that you can defeat by using a perseverance and a counter psychological sort of approach, counter psychological operation approach. Their favorite thing is to tell you something you need to do anyway, as if they commanded you to. Do it because you chose to. It could be, hey, you just took a poop. Time to wipe your butt, right? And they're gonna be like, wipe your butt now. In the name of, I don't know, you know, it could be a caricature from your childhood, or the hero of Planet X or something, or might as well say alien government agent god, whatever, something like that. The great, and you're gonna be in on it and whatever else, all just so that whatever it would say what you did, so that you attached the idea that it tells you what to do because it's going to help you out. Um, some people have not seen the Terminator movies. Some people have. Uh, in the Terminator movies, they show that the robot could take a voice signature profile signature and simulate it with enough accuracy that a human ear would think it was the person, the natural timbre of the voice of the person uh, who they recognize. And so, thus, this is another thing they would do, all at the same time. Like, just, they turn it up to fucking 10, basically. And then it's various amounts of how much relief will they give you for how much you cooperate with it. But, call to John, Sarah, or, you know, uh, whatever. When the Terminator's on the phone, talking to someone close to John Connor or Sarah Connor, and it's like imitating someone the person knows. It could be a celebrity. It could be a drawing you put in your book as a kid. I mean, anything at all, they would do, but it's never good. Never, ever, 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 ever good. So it reveals that there's three modes. And this is something you can do, um, especially if you want to remember a thing that becomes a nonlinear thought, or at least that you're going to continue something that really has something you can depend on and keep going with. Something very abstract, or the way you think, your artistic merit as a thinker. Um, if you want to remember, I got to do this, and I got to do this, and I got to do this today, or like even just your next goal. For me, it's how to stick it to them. I know I want to do this, so I remember that. I repeat to myself, and this, and of course, blah 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 chatter. But if you focus on what you want to do, like maybe you do arts and crafts, or music, or write, or who knows, maybe you're a software engineer, or you go skeet shooting, whatever. If you focus explicitly, very intently, implicitly, the whole fucking shebang on what you want to do. And, it would seem like who you used to be in all this. You're still in there. In fact, you're still out there. You're still entirely you. Everything else is like some bullshit speculation from a self assured uh, precept of these people who merely have a computer and some. That's basically it. They got it out of fucking Cracker Jack box. Uh, uh, see, I made a strange dilemma dichotomy. I use the term they got it out of a Cracker Jack box. this would imply it was something like Spaceballs, which was good. And all of a sudden, I'd be like, oh, you mean like, the good, blah, blah. It would split hairs with anything. It would make a dichotomy out of anything and then apply conditions to it or whatever. Anything to, to make to distract or kind of flay the mind into some weird ass malaise of being stuck on all this other shit. And in truth, you know, spend your time the way you want, um, and do it well. Uh, Hone your craft. I mean, for me, he said I played guitar for 25 years, and remarkably, um, I have been able to preserve that one thing for 16 years of very direct targeting. Even though when I was a child, they were already trying to knock me out of my body and shit. In fact, just some couple few months ago, maybe less, um, I was laying in bed, and believe it or not, I was absolutely washed on this shit. I was like, okay, move like this, move like this, move like this, move like this. I'm laying there, and they fucking hit me with something that threw me out of my body like I was going through the floor or some shit. And with a great amount of practice, actually, I went right back into my body. For as far as I know, they're trying to kill me or some shit, or just scare me to death, or make me feel like I was part of some weird thing, or give me some terrible nightmare. Who knows? Uh, I relied on a sphere of protection as a child, a magic, I devised rules of it. It's good energy. Only good energy may enter. Any energy that enters has to become good or something. And I used like I saw Dragon Ball Z, so the dude powers up. He's like Well, they didn't fuck with me for years after that. I mean, they fucking went, and that was when I was like, I don't know, 10 years plus or minus, some margin of I forget how many years. Um, it's very much a psychological battle. Everything is upstairs, um, in your mind. And so when you realize that, and of course, when you realize, that, uh, goodness, I mean, if just for example, it, they say we need a standing militia to combat the military or something, and maybe we would have some success against infantry. But in truth, if we actually, as civilians, just here in the United States, so they're called this fucking geographic area, tried to fight the military, it's like, okay, well, uh, um, let's see, there's that Black Hawk helicopter coming over the mountain. There's that entire Air Force. You know, it's kind of like saying, would a zombie apocalypse ever happen? No, simply pop them all. So they're much better and much more capable of doing real shitty things like mass genocide or something. Much more capable of sending somebody with a gun. Much more capable of anything with a weapon or going to commit violence. So we might as well call that not love and their suit, um, and realize that for any threat that we could pose against them, even if it was tit for tat, like gee, I don't know, like if we got a bunch of people going on, we could just get rid of all the local uniform wearing, gonna get you Gestapo shit or whatever the fuck. Fine, but the truth is that they're much better at bad things, much better at violence, much better at shit, and obviously, we're a spy in a little room with all the shit against them. Much better at real terrible shit, to hurt somebody or whatever. So to cast that aside is to again realize that it's a mind thing. Um, it doesn't mean that sometimes you don't psych a person out, like kind of don't fuck with me. But then you have to realize that even if you defended yourself, maybe the cops would simply set it up to seem like you were the aggressor, like happened to me with this thing here. They made it seem like I threw the first punch, and the guy sucker punched me while I got out while I was getting my camera ready to just film what the fuck is going on. This racist guy and some shit and whatever. It was all true. So there's that. And that may seem like a weakness upon me, but it's not. Um, so I try to avoid the fights. Frankly, I haven't fought back once. I haven't gotten in a fight that I started since I was 5 years old, and that's because the kid was raised, to be aggressive and sort of dumb and arrogant, and every time I fucking went outside, in between the two neighbors' houses, there's this little patch of grass and a circular driveway. He would come out and just throwing fucking fists, and he punched me in the nose once, and I cried. Bruce Lee, same thing. When he's 5, lost a fight and then went on to attend dojo. And I'm not saying you can't do that. More power to you. And if you have, wow, that's amazing. But and so I realized I could punch him back on the nose, and I did. And then he didn't fuck with me anymore. All this being true, I'm like, like a shared plane or something. Is that if you make them realize that they can't, I have segue, but that's all right. It's an abstract thought. That that they will be hurt by coming towards you, even anything at all, upstairs. They start backing off. Like it used to be all the time. I wake up, there's a cloud of birds yelling in my fucking window. There's cars going up and down. The neighbors slamming the doors. We're pretty fucking shady. Whatever. And every neighbor has wicked fucking shady. I don't give a fuck. And it's been nothing but death threats. Especially from the whatever the fuck they put in me, this injection. I mean, nothing. But I mean, someone's gonna shoot me, climb through the window, fucking whatever. Never happens. And so when you realize you're calling their bluff, that hurts them. And so it's definitely an aikido. Aikido being the art of no harm, if I may understand that to be correct, is merely 3 different poses. And again, I want to talk about this 3 nodes thing. It's like they want to make sense. They have to do it 3 times. Like they have to butter you up. Oh, it's going to be great. But then the 3rd time they're like, oh, but we have to boast of our shit or villainous plot, etc. I have to review this now to figure out what my fucking point was, but that's all right. It was an honest mistake.